Welcome back. As always, if you have anything to add to this conversation, please continue the conversation down in the comments. That's why I make these videos, to have conversations, so leave it down there. Or if you have any video you want me to make in the future, let me know down there. Or about any comments about the channel in general, because I am always looking for improvement, and your comments about a ton. So please, let me know. Also, be sure to check out my other channel, YC Games. It's the one with the orange logo. And without further ado, let's get right into this video. There have been a lot of pretty big games come out recently, and still a couple on the horizon that can fit under the looter shooter genre. Now, Borderlands kind of being the granddaddy almost of the genre, if not the actual founder, I don't think Borderlands 3 is going to have any problem finding a foothold when it comes out. However, the modern looter shooter is a much different beast from something like what Borderlands used to be and still is. So, this video is going to be kind of looking at what modern looter shooters are doing, what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and how Borderlands 3 can kind of fit in with the modern looter shooter genre while still maintaining what made the first games great. This seems to be the biggest issue where modern looter shooters seem to fail almost, is that they have too much of a focus on online. Now, this isn't really a problem. In fact, in theory, I love it. I love the idea of more of an MMO style shooter and make it a looter shooter. You know, that sounds really fun in theory. Just me personally, none of the ones that come out really click with me. You know, Destiny, yeah, it's fun to be had, but I never really stood in it too long. Anthem looks promising, just kind of play with a lot of issues right now, and I'm almost too afraid to jump into it. Division looks like a lot of fun, but again, a lot of issues, and I'm going to kind of wait and see for that. But the biggest issue with all of these that I have personally is that it focuses too much on online. For Borderlands 3 to truly succeed, it has to stick with the Borderlands roots of couch co-op. Now, obviously, have online capabilities so I can play with my buddies that are in other states and whatnot, but focus more on couch co-op. Don't make it some huge expanding universe where there's hundreds of players always with you at all times you can meet up and do whatever with. I don't want that for Borderlands 3. I want traditionally, you know, me, 3 buddies, maybe make up to 5 buddies if we go with 6 players. That just saying that'd be nice. But going on this adventure, the story, and then afterwards grinding out some bosses, you know, farming, looting, all that good stuff. But I don't want to be plagued with tons of other players constantly. Now, I realize that's not how those games actually work. That's not how the Division, that's not how Destiny it really is. But that's just what I kind of always feel like. Now, like I said, I like that idea in theory. On paper, it sounds great. Just there hasn't been a game that really clicked with me personally that I really enjoy. But I got some buddies that really enjoy it, so, you know, good on you. I'm not saying that they're bad games. I'm not saying you shouldn't enjoy them. I'm not saying Borderlands is better. I'm just saying it's not for me, and I don't want that to happen to Borderlands 3. Mostly because not only is it just not for me personally, it really does affect the community. These kind of games rely heavily on the community, and that can be a good thing. That is great. You know, having a strong community behind you makes a great game even greater. However, in a game that relies too heavily on it, you know, the whole expanding universe where there's tons of players on with you at all times and you have to interact with them constantly, that kind of stuff, it really starts to fall apart once the player base starts dropping. Now, again, I'm not saying that this happens to these games. I'm not saying that's the whole focus. But those games you really can't play single player. You have to at least meet new people in the game and play with those people. That's why I really, really enjoy Borderlands over these games. Because, yeah, obviously it's more fun with friends. You know, when I get a couple buddies on to play with me, it's definitely a much better time. However, I can jump in solo and play the whole game and do all the loot and do all the stuff. I can do it by myself if I choose. I really can't do that with Destiny or with Anthem or with Division. So that's just why another reason why I personally don't enjoy it. And that's why when these community starts dying, the game starts dying. And that's why Borderlands still seems to have a huge community behind it. Because you don't actually need a community to be successful. Loot is kind of a big deal in these games. You know, the whole looter shooter genre, loot is literally half the name of the genre. So it's kind of a big deal. And this is another one of the cases where the modern games seem to fail at this. Because their end game, they're really good loot, they're legendaries, they're all just guns with really good stats. And that's fine, that's all well and good. If that's all you want from your legendary guns, then good on you, go for it. But for Borderlands 3 to truly be Borderlands 3, it's gotta stick with the unique loot, the legendaries that are unique to themselves. Yeah, there's the randomized stats, keep that obviously, and whatever, but the truly good thing about them is that each gun did something different. Not each gun, but for the most part, they were all unique. They did something differently, like the conference call, firing sideways. Stuff like that. We need more guns like that. That is what really makes Borderlands a truly looter shooter for me. I'm not a huge fan of grinds, I'll admit it. But Borderlands is a game that I will happily farm and grind out to get those guns because it's so cool to see what each one can do, all the legendaries, what they do differently compared to regular guns. And that kind of seems to be one of the biggest places where modern looter shooters seem to be failing. That, yeah, they have endgame loot, yeah, they have stuff you want to grind out, yeah, they have their legendaries that you want to get, but they're not really unique. They're just the same guns with maybe a different skin or better stats, stuff like that. And that's fine, that's all well and good. If that's what you want from your legendary guns, I'm not going to doubt you for it. But I prefer something actually unique, something worth getting. The other huge part of a looter shooter is the shooting part. And traditionally Borderlands has had solid shooting. Nothing truly superb. The introduction of abilities is awesome. It's a lot of fun. And that's all I really ask for, especially because the focus is on more of the loot. But obviously, the gunplay and the shooting, it has to be at least enjoyable. And Borderlands has nailed that. I love just playing Borderlands 2, playing through it. I played through it a million times. But just going around, shooting things in the face, it's a good time. They have a lot of solid mechanics in place that make it fun. And as you level up, you get more abilities, more unique ways of killing. It's a good time. They nailed it. However, where the modern looter shooters are actually advancing in a good way is in their shooting mechanics. This is actually the point where Anthem could have potentially beaten Borderlands 3. I know, it sounds crazy, but I'm saying it because the thing they're trying to get you to feel like, when it works good. I'm sure you've seen gameplay, or you maybe played it yourself, you played the beta, whatever. Flying around, feeling like Iron Man, shooting things, blowing stuff up, using your abilities, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the beta, and I played at my buddy's house. I really enjoyed the game on that aspect of it. Where the Anthem really falls apart is the longevity of it. The looting, the end game, the mission structures. That's not enjoyable to me. But if they could actually nail the flying and the shooting and stuff, if they could bring that level of just freeform enjoyment, pure bliss flying around, it would have been an amazing game. Amazing, amazing, amazing game. They just kind of dropped the ball everywhere else. Now, I'm not saying the modern looter shooters, they monetize them weird. I'm not going to say anything about microtransactions or DLC or anything about that in this video. I actually do plan on making a future video very soon talking about microtransactions and monetization in general. Not really so much a Borderlands video, but I do want to include it here because a lot of the modern looter shooters seem to focus on monetizing afterwards. They're going for more of games as a service rather than games as a game. And that is a big part of where I think Borderlands 3 will shine, because I think it's going to be more of a game, like a traditional game, like how all the other Borderlands has been, rather than, okay, here's a platform that people can play on, and then we're going to build up from there. We're going to add a bunch of DLC, a bunch of microtransactions, and people will buy them because they're going to want to keep playing the game. I don't want that for Borderlands 3. I want them to make a game in its entirety, and then add some DLC later, because Borderlands 2 had some of the best DLC of any game, especially in recent memory, of any game of all time, I think. I love Borderlands 2's DLC. The packs, the raids afterwards, all of it, ton of fun, lots of good times. The extra levels they added, all good additions, all good DLC. That's what I want for Borderlands 3, that kind of DLC. I don't want little cosmetic here, or we're going to throw an extra gun here for $1, stuff like that. That is not good monetization. That is not good microtransactions. Like I said, I'll probably make another video in the next couple of days, kind of a full talk about microtransactions, about gaming in general, not just on Borderlands 3. But yeah, that's where I'm just going to end this here. That about does it for this video. Let me know what you guys want from Borderlands 3. Do you want it to be more of a MMO, like more of a platform of games as a service, or do you want it to be an actual game with, you know, great loot and good shooting, all that stuff? What do you guys want from Borderlands 3? Do you want it to be more like the newer looter shooters, or do you want it to be more traditional Borderlands? Obviously, I'm voting for more traditional Borderlands, but I want to know what you guys think. Also, like I did mention earlier, I do plan on making a video about microtransactions within the next couple of days. So, not just Borderlands 3 microtransactions, but microtransactions in gaming in general, and more so the monetization about games. So if there's any good examples you guys have, I'll probably talk about like Rainbow Six, GTA, Red Dead Redemption 2. Those aren't really good examples. They're just kind of examples. Talk about what they did well, what they didn't do well. So if you have any good examples about, you know, games you thought really did monetize themselves well, or bad examples, because there's lots of examples of both, let me know down in the comments. I'll be sure to include in that video whenever it comes out. Hopefully in the next couple of days. I don't know when I plan on making a video. Also, be sure to check out my other channel, YC Games. It's the one with the orange logo. A lot of fun over there, just seeing my friends having fun playing video games. Mostly Rainbow Six Siege, because we play a lot of that. We're not very good, but we have a lot of fun playing it. That's why I kind of make the videos, just us having fun. It is by no means a good description of what Rainbow Six Siege is like. But yeah, be sure to check it out. Also, if you enjoy the videos, be sure to tell your friends about it, because, you know, just more people in the conversation, the better. And yeah, that's about it. I do appreciate you guys. I don't want to say enough, because I don't really like when people talk about that, but I do appreciate you guys watching these videos. So yeah, thanks a lot, and be sure to keep your stick on the ice. We're all in this together. See you in the next one.